This may look like a typical new build, but look a little closer. The deep silt lying underneath the frames tells a different story. This couple who lives in Parkville between Napier and Hastings didn't want to be identified as they are worried about ongoing looting.
We're just carrying on. There's years of work. We want some answers, and before winter, we need to have it all clear of silt, and then some plans to move ahead so we can get on to build.
So that we can get home.
Get back on this land.
We need it all lit up, safer.
Back in February, Hastings resident Carrie Fromont Rose was overwhelmed by the help from her community.
Everybody's here for you.
It's crazy.
You're not strangers, you're all family.
3 months on, Carrie and her mother are still dealing with the cleanup.
Pretty much stripped everything out of the houses, all the rubbish, ripped all the walls, all the bathrooms, all the kitchens out. Everything's completely stripped. We were lucky to get a family member offer them their flat, which was huge because so many people were looking for somewhere to live. The houses are extremely hard to find for everybody because there's so many people looking for them before the cyclone, let alone after the cyclone.
For many of those impacted by the cyclone, the best option has been to find accommodation with family or friends.
At the moment, a very kind friend of a friend has given us a place to live in Havelock North. It's not too much further for me to go to work.
Primary school teacher Susan Averill has lived in Parkville area for over 43 years.
Basically it was 4 bedrooms, and there was a room that was the office. That was our master bedroom and our ensuite, and that was the wardrobe. So that was sort of our living thing. This was a dining area.
For those who have lost everything, finding suitable accommodation is a priority. The Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment provides a temporary accommodation service in the region, often in motels and portable cabins.
We have 621 people who have registered with us. Many of those are in alternative accommodation at present, and we're working very closely with them to find suitable accommodation for the medium to long term while their current homes are being repaired. We currently have 152 people placed in our temporary accommodation supply. Many of those will still be in motels, but we're working very closely with them to either return them to their own homes or to place them in more suitable medium to longer term accommodation, such as cabins. And we have a number of cabins on standby to go to both this region and to Wairoa, and that is 20.
MBRE declined our request to film the temporary accommodation due to privacy concerns, but said finding accommodation is a complex problem, especially over the medium and long term.
In Porongahau, we work closely with the local marae who are sheltering people on the marae, and we have placed cabins on that marae that are now a warm, safe, dry place for those whānau to live in.
The cost for the temporary accommodation is roughly 90% of the lower quartile market rent, with TAS covering the remaining cost. For example, the proposed TAS weekly rent for a 2-bedroom accommodation is $350, and 3-bedroom is $450.
We provide the housing, but it is not a free service. But we will actively work with whānau around payment options, and those payment options are self-funding. Many people are insured, and insurance covers temporary accommodation. And in some hardship cases, the Ministry of Social Development can step in and help whānau out, and they've been very active in this region in doing so. If whānau have a future need or think that they may need the service at some time, to please register with us now so that we can help them through this very distressing process.
Despite the subsidized accommodation, many families just want to stay on their land.
People want to get back in to protect what they have got because there's so much theft and vandalism going on at the moment. People don't feel safe. I've heard of people putting caravans on site to protect what they have got.
We want a unit to put onto the property here, but they still said they're working on it, and that's 3 months since the flooding. They just said, we'll get back to you, we're still working on it.
This couple want to move back to their property to protect what's left.
There's some very stressed people in our Pakawhai area. The looting is stressing a lot of people out. They're feeling desperate.
We lost compressors and tools here last week. Person up the road lost about $15,000 worth of tools.
They've been into our neighbours' backyard. I just find that disgusting that the government are taking away the only people that are supporting us right now, and that are the police.
And you can see the numbers of the police is dropping off.
We would have seen them at least 4 times today, and we drove around one night and we didn't even see one cop in our area for about 40 minutes.
Police data shows that during the week immediately after the cyclone, there was a brief spike in crime, but levels returned to normal by the following week. In a statement to local focus, police said, "We've been in Pakawhai and other affected areas, speaking to occupiers and discussing crime and safety concerns. We have police patrolling 24/7 and are monitoring any reported incidents in our flood-affected areas." Not only are residents concerned for their security, there are also concerns around when they will get the answers they are looking for.
Basically, we just have to wait. It's a waiting game on the government and the councils to decide what can happen and what can't happen. We're out here all the time just doing what we can, and then it's just waiting, and it could be an extremely long wait.
We've really just been forgotten about. We need answers, we need support.
The recovery will be lengthy, not just for Hawke's Bay, but for other regions affected by recent extreme weather events. In Marae, Auckland, the recovery process is still ongoing, with some residents still unable to access their properties 5 months on. The Prime Minister recently announced a $941 million spend to help those impacted by the cyclone and flooding. For residents like these, it's an investment that can't come soon enough.
Our plan is to get the little cottage rebuilt, and we can move in there and get back on our land, and maybe the council and everybody else will have a few more answers and sureties.
J. Pang, Local Focus.